Welcome to the second game of our doubleheader. I'm glad you landed with us. Salve Regina took the first one over UMass Boston 5-4 despite a late Beacons push in the bottom of the seventh. And away we go here. It's Brianna Melchionda for their second start in 2 days for the Beacons and fires over for a first pitch strike. Going to go through the defense behind her, and it looks like this. It's going to be more or less the same makeup as the last game, with the exception of Jordan Toomey slotting in at first base and playing the flex position instead of Lauren Bethea, who was manning the bag in the last game. Roller to the shortstop, Kaylee Bruce fires just in time to get the leadoff hitter, Nikki Vanelli. The defense behind Brianna Melchionda goes this way. It's Haley Tilbury and Kaylee Bruce on the left side of the infield. Sydney Sandin and Jordan Toomey on the right. Tam Landry catching Brianna Melchionda. In the outfield, it is the same three as before, in the same spots as before. Sarah Harlinski in left, Christina Panagiotopoulos in center, Gabriella Messier in right. Going up and down the lineup for the Salve Regina Seahawks as J.C. Casciello steps to the plate for in the number 2 spot. You saw Vanilli in the leadoff spot. Lauren Packer in the 4th spot. Maddie Capetta 5th. Christina Braid 6th. Emily Lane, the new entry into their lineup over the last game, is 6th. Kendall Dupre hitting in the 7th spot as that one's chipped over to the on-deck circle. Landry with a diving catch. Tam Landry, defensive wizardry in the opener, and keeps it going here. Woo! Have a day. In any event, Kendall Dupre in the 7th spot, Francesca Rubino in the 8th, and Katie Ramos in the 9th. Melchionda comes home. That's chipped foul at the plate by Lauren Packer. And the count 0-1. For Melchionda, after yesterday's start is factored in, her line on the season looks like this. 3 games, all of them starts, 18 innings pitched, with an earned run average of 1.17 and a whip of 1.1. She's holding batters to a 239 average. And she's got, here's the real capper, I think, 21 strikeouts over just 3 walks. Closest, the most powerful pitcher, I suppose you'd say, in this UMass Boston rotation. We thought we might see Haley Catania in this game. She's the only UMass Boston pitcher who we have not seen this season. We've seen Doble once in a start, once in relief. Now Melchionda twice as a starter. She's quickly got 2 outs here going against a Seahawk lineup that tacked on 2 runs at the start of the first game today. Showing bunt, pulling back, slapping foul is Packer, and the count is 2-2. Lauren Packer's going to be in the catcher's spot in this one. There's a little bit of shuffling around in their positioning that we will get to when the Beacons come to bat in the bottom of the inning. Melchionda fires, just getting a piece of it is Packer to stay alive. Still 2-2. Check swing, lands it in right field, and it gets by the right fielder. But Messier hunts it down. Packer did not try for second. And it'll be a clean. It was sort of a check swing, kind of came through with it, just rolled the wrists over. And it's enough to earn a base hit. That ball's over for a strike. If you look at Melchionda's delivery, it's a lot longer in just about every sense of the word compared to Megan Adams and Emily Doble, who pitched the last game. Long limbs winding, furious stride forward, and a lot more speed as a result. Penciled in as the number one in this UMass Boston staff, despite Doble pitching very well. Melquiades kept pace with her. Winds, fires, strike, and that'll end the inning. Call or a swing one way or the other. The Beacons get around the two-out hit. And at the end of half an inning, no score. It's the first collegiate start for Isabel Michaud as she climbs the mound. She's appeared just once this season. Delivers a first pitch strike to Sarah Harlinski. It was in relief. Pitched 2 innings, gave up 2 runs, neither of them earned, however. Did walk 5 batters in those 2 innings. Both scored as a result of errors. Listed as a utility player, but she's getting her first extended run here. The Salve Regina has 2 games today and 2 tomorrow. Harlinski runs through that one and can't make contact. 1-2. Second baseman pinched way up. Third baseman is too, but second baseman almost is even with the pitcher's plate. One hopper scalded to first, dropped by the first baseman, and that's all it takes. Sarah Harlinski reaches for the 5th consecutive time. It was a scalded one-hopper to the first baseman, Emily Lane, who fielded it cleanly, it appeared, and then fumbled the ball as she went to the bag. So for Sarah Harlinski, who had a ground ball single to the outfield, a ground ball single to the outfield, 2 infield singles, and a walk in 4 plate appearances in the last game. Even when you hit it right to the first baseman, which is about the easiest out you can ask for, she reaches. And now there's an appeal going on down at first base. Not sure if the call is going to be reversed. It appeared that she got there ahead of the first baseman. And they are calling her out. can't imagine that the call was that she beat the first baseman to the bag, or that she didn't beat the first baseman to the bag on the replay. But what I'm assuming this call was, we don't have an explanation here. What I'm assuming it was is they deemed that the ball was still in the first baseman's possession when she initially stepped on the bag, and that the fumble happened after her foot had already made contact with the bag, in which case Harlinski is out, 1 out in the frame, and Haley Tilbury's coming up with the bases empty. Harlinski retired for the first time today. Michaud, oh, that one dove into the bat of Haley Tilbury for the second out. And now Brianna Melchionda with a loud double her last time at bat. That was in the bottom of the 7th inning of the previous game. Her first hit of the game, and it was in a big spot. She rolls that one on a few hops to the second baseman, Casiello, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Isabel Michaud in her first start as a college pitcher. The end of 1, no score. Well, a tasteful music break later. Here we are, the top of the 2nd inning. It's going to be Christina Braid, Emily Lane, Kendall Dupre, and should anyone reach, we will get our first look of the second game at Francesca Rubino, the center fielder. Braid on base a couple of times in the first game. It's a 1-1 count now. For Melchionda, who had a terrific game yesterday. 3 runs came in, only one of them her fault. Oh, nice stop at Landry there, even with nobody on base. Melchionda, a healthy number of strikeouts. I believe it was 8 strikeouts yesterday. And that ratio is the thing that, other than the ERA and the WHIP, both of which sit at about 1 1/3, it's that, what you just saw, that ability to just gun the ball by the opposition. We saw that in the second game. It was from the Bridgewater State pitcher yesterday, Kelly Reichert. She flamed through her way to a no-hitter. But Melchionda is a similar mold of pitcher. And with a 2-2 count here, she goes back to the heat and just misses the black. Very close, ball 3, shall we say. Full count pitch and ball 4. Braid goes down to first. And with nobody out and 1 on, it will be the first baseman, Emily Lane. The defense shifting a little bit for Salve Regina. Lane slots in at first base. Capetta remains at third. Casiello moves from the outfield in. Vanelli at short now. 0-1 count. Lane, a 5'11" freshman. Big strike zone. Hacks that one back into the screen. And it's 0-2. Comes home. Oh, goodness, there's some velocity on that one. Got away from her a little bit, and Tam Landry leveraged it for a back pick. But, I mean, if you can hear the pop in the mitt. One and 2 now. Oh, and that's a painful one to take off the bicep there. One of the last pitchers in New England you want throwing that at you. And last couple pitches get away from Melchiondo a little bit. Two on now. A walk to Braid. Lane hit by the pitch after an errant pitch outside, and Melchiondo struggling a little bit with the control here. As the first 2 runners in the top of the second have reached without a ball in play.
The right fielder, number 14,
Kendall Dupre. With a bat in her hands, facing off against Melchiondo, who's throwing absolute gas right now. Very strike efficient in the first inning. Starting to slip a little bit here, but then goes 0-2 on the third hitter in the inning. Misses just outside. One-two pitch. Melchiondo winds, fires that one just off the dirt. And the count is even. Braid at second after the walk. Lane at first after the hit by pitch. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to first, fielded by Toomey. She'll take it to the bag for 1, and the runners will advance. And with 2 on and 1 out now, the batter will be Kendall Dupre. Excuse me, apologies. The batter will be Francesca Rubino.
The center fielder, number 55, Francesca Rubino.
Fastball, strike 1. Trying to get your wrists around on a pitch of this magnitude, on a pitch of that velocity. After you spent the first game facing a couple pitchers who, despite their strengths, don't throw that hard. It's a tricky thing to adjust to. You think maybe it'll be a little bit different the second time through the lineup. But the only hit they've had, and it evidences the argument about the speed, I suppose, was a relatively weak hit ball. It was a blooper down the right field line. The sort of pitch that it's what the right-hander does with a pitch from somebody like Melchiondo when they can't quite get around fast enough on it, but they still make solid contact. That one comes in low for a ball. The count now 2-2, and a big at-bat here. It's the bottom of the order for Melchionda to face. But there are 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out, and no forces available to her defenders. Comes home with a 2-2. That one is high on an off-speed pitch, and the count is full. Can Melchionda work her way out of trouble in the top of the second? Strike 3 called. Rubino didn't like it. She was on her way to first. And the second out of the inning brings the Beacons ever closer to getting out of the jam. It's Katie Ramos at the bottom of the order. Bottom of the order on the top of the second. Putting some pressure on Brianna Melchionda. One-0 pitch is a strike on the outer half. A little bit low in the zone, and the count even at 1-1 strike. A walk to Christina Braid, a hit by pitch of Emily Lane, then a ground out and a strikeout bring us to where we are now. At a 1-2 count on another called strike from Melchionda to Katie Ramos, the number 9 hitter. 1 strike away from working out of the inning. Oh, that one puts her on a knee as that one comes up high and tight. High and tight, maybe not the best way of putting it. Only 5'1". The pitch wasn't particularly high, but it wound up around the shoulder chin area for Katie Ramos, and that's ball 2. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and down she goes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Melchionda, her second and third of the game. Get her out of the jam. The Seahawks strand a pair in scoring position, and at the end of 1.5, we are still scoreless in Game 2 of our doubleheader.
Second inning for the Beacons, the second baseman, number 14, Sydney Sandin.
Sydney Sandin, Christina Panagiotopoulos, Amari English. To get things going in the bottom of the second inning for the Beacons, still no score. And for Isabel Michaud, this is a chance to put some serious innings on the board. Only 2 in the first 7 games, and it was in a relief appearance. Sandin chips that one off foul. Fires Sandin tops it off. This is going to be a tough play for Michaud, but she gets it there in time. Just a little dribbler that took a few hops and almost came to a stop between home plate and the pitcher's mound. But Michaud wasting no time and gets the job done.
The center fielder, number 5,
Christina Panagiotopoulos now. In the number 5 spot, reaches out and tips that one foul into the opposite on-deck circle, 0-1. Solid center fielder. Her head coach crediting her with reading fly balls well, getting really good jumps, quality hitter and runner all around. He's going to have a meeting on the mound here. Brief meeting with the head coach. Ardagna says she works hard. She holds herself to a high standard. She's been asking the right questions for her own development here in her freshman season. 5'8" outfielder out of Lowell, Massachusetts. Played well down in South Carolina. Came into this weekend third place on the team in hits, scored more runs than any of them. Has more walks than any of them, although the Beacons as a team have not been walking a ton. And here she is now with an 0-1 count. Michaud fires in. Well low. Bouncing in the dirt before it hit the batter's box, and the count even at 1-1. Tipped foul again, almost to the same spot. And now it's a 1-2 count. On deck, the designated player, Omari English. Low and away, ball 2. English we saw as a offensive replacement in the last game after playing a couple of games yesterday. Natalia Ardagna with some players missing and early in the season in general. There's a ground ball third base. Nice stop there by Capetta. Maddie Capetta with a tricky stop and a strong throw to retire the speedy Panagiotopoulos.
The designated player, number 21, Amari English.
Ball one below the knees of Amari English. Big outfielder in the designated player spot today, 5'10". Another one comes in below the knees, and the count is 2-0. Michaud behind in the count, fires to English. That one's in fair territory. She didn't realize it at first. The second baseman covering first. And she's out just barely. Did the second baseman, Costiello, get her foot to the bag? If English breaks for it right away, I don't think she realized that that ball was fair for about half a second. And that may have cost her the shortest of infield hits. We're going to take a quick break here before the third inning. Still no score from UMass Boston. the top of the order to lead off the third, Nikki Vanelli, Janie Casciello, Lauren Packer. JC Casciello, excuse me. Fastball over the plate, strike one. And what we're seeing here is the Salve Regina hitters, kind of unlike the Bridgewater State Bears from yesterday, not inclined to swing at these first pitch heaters from Melchionda, and Melchionda, just as she was yesterday, nevertheless being obliged to stick him right over the plate. Off-speed pitch in the dirt for a ball. Sophomore season for Melchionda. Coming after a freshman season where she led the Beacons in any number of categories, namely earned run average, innings pitched, strikeouts, 3 double-digit strikeout games, something that no Beacon had ever done, period, let alone in a season. A power pitcher's power pitcher. 21 strikeouts coming into today in 18 innings pitched. Oof. There's some zip on all of these. And for Melchionda, 3 strikeouts through the opening 2 innings. Vanelli determined not to be victim number 4. Capetta struck out. Rubino struck out. Ramos struck out. The last 2 to end what appeared to be a threat the Seahawks were posing. Oof! 4th strikeout of the day, and you can hear the pop in the mitt from the other side of the harbor. 1 gone in the inning, and the batter will be JC Casciello.
JC Casciello.
Melchionda winds, fires. There's a first pitch swing, and it didn't do much good than it did when they were taking it. He is humming along. Her second start in as many days. In fact, her second start within 24 hours. And Brianna Melchionda is just humming. Ground ball. Gets a glove on it, knocks it down, fires low to first. Safe. Toomey did a decent job of trying to dig it out. The ruling seems to be that the runner beat the throw to the bag. Wasn't too sure about that, but it's a little tricky to see from where we are. Folks at home have probably got a better view of it. You can judge for yourselves.
The catcher, number 9, Lauren Packer.
It's Lauren Packer now with JC Casciello leading off at first. It is scored as an error on Melchionda. Only 1 hit thus far for Salve Regina. UMass Boston has not had one. High fly ball in right field. Tricky fighting the sun from Messier. And the overthrow on first base. Landry picks it up, throws down to second. And taking second base on the play is the base runner, Casciello. Wondered initially whether Messier was going to be able to make the play. But Messier ultimately grabbed it, fighting the sun. We're seeing the sun peeking out from behind the clouds, which is something that we haven't seen in a little while.
The third baseman, number 10.
We are still looking at the forecast here to see. The rain seems to have been pushed off to 6 p.m. And so in all likelihood, unless it drastically reverses course, we're going to have enough time to play the entire second game here. When the day started, the forecast had the rain coming in at about 2:33 p.m. with a softball god smiling favorably. Landry with a back pick at second. Oh, what a play by Sandin to keep the ball out of center field. There was nobody covering initially, and Sandin made a last-second break for it. 2 outs, runner on second, 2-0 count. Maddie Capetta now chips that one foul. First strike of the AB. Melchiano winds, fires. Capetta able to catch up with it, but chips it foul. This is the tricky part for anyone who's trying to catch up with Brianna Melchiano. Even when you get the bat on it, oftentimes it's hard to raise the bat to the level of the pitch. Capetta does, though, and she grounds that one into center field for a base hit. She's going to take second as Panagiotopoulos has a difficulty coming up with it, and it's an RBI hit for Maddie Capetta. Coming in to score is Casciello, and once again, Salve Regina strikes first. It's going to be a single and an error on the center fielder. Runner still on second with 2 outs now. That's about as hard, that Maddie Capetta hit is about as hard as anyone has hit the ball off of Melchionda, and it found the seam. Well hit ground ball. Capetta once again reminds everyone how dangerous a hitter she has been and will continue to be as her sophomore season gets going. And now Christina Braid with a chance to knock her home. Swings and misses. Down she goes. Another strikeout for Brianna Melchionda. But Salve Regina gets themselves on the board. An RBI single from Maddie Capetta to cash the runner in from second. Salve Regina got on the board in the top of the third inning. Gabriella Messier grounds back to the pitcher here for the first out as UMass Boston tries to match the run. It's Tam Landry and Kaylee Bruce to follow, and should anyone get on, back to the top of the order, and Sarah Harlinski. UMass Boston has not mustered a base runner yet against Isabella Michaud. Looked as though they had one on the leadoff on an error by the pitcher. Or an error by the first baseman, rather. Ground ball to short. Tam Landry legs it out. And she continues to sparkle out here today. 2-run triple and a couple of base runners thrown out in the first game. And now an infield single and a diving catch here in the second game. Stellar stuff from the catcher. Had the day off yesterday,
Shortstop number 15, Kaylee Bruce.
and now coming back in a big way today. That one bounces in. Landry's going right to second, and the Beacons have the tying run in scoring position. First AB of the game for Kaylee Bruce. Ensconced in that shortstop position. Played some solid defense this weekend. Tops that one off. Landry's going to go to third. There's going to be no play anywhere as the throw hits her. First and third. Whether they had a shot at Kaylee Bruce, who's got decent speed going down the line to first, remains to be seen. They opted to go the short way, and Landry, with a good jump off a second and read the ball well, beats her there. It'll go as a single for Bruce. And now, with runners at the corners and one out, and the tying run 60 feet away, Sarah Harlinski. Throw down to second. Kaylee Bruce is safe, and Landry swipes home. They pull off the double steal to perfection, and the game is tied.
The left fielder number 19, Sarah Harlinski.
Whether they have a shot at Landry if the catcher, Packers throw, is a clean one to second base, or whether they have a shot at the runner going to second for that matter, can't quite say. But one way or the other, the Beacons are making some noise here as Harlinski with a little bit of a hesitant swing there through the run-up. And that's a strike for her. 1-1 now. Infield way, way in. Second baseman Casciello, even with the pitcher, Harlinski fouls that one off. 1-2 the count now. You got the third baseman playing a step or so in from the bag. First baseman playing level with the bag. Second baseman crashing hard. Soft line drive to short, and that'll do it for Harlinski. This is the consequence when you hit like she does. On the one hand, it's fun. It's really fun, and it's unique. On the other hand, the defense can gear up on you, and it will cause you problems every now and then. Not that that wouldn't have necessarily been an out other times,
The third baseman number 3, Haley Tilbury.
but in particular, the ground ball hit that she got through the pinched-in infield earlier is really the only way to beat that. So you've got to hit it with velocity. But the infield coming up is likely to take away those soft hits that we saw her get in the opener. And that seems to be the default defensive look now when she strolls to the dish. 2 balls to start off Haley Tilbury, the third baseman hitting in the number 2 spot. If you're just joining us, Salve Regina took the first game 5-4 over UMass Boston despite a late rush by the latter. They scored a run in the first inning of this one, or in the third inning, of this one. UMass Boston has matched them in the bottom half, and they have a go-ahead run in Kaylee Bruce, leading off at second. That pitch is low, and Tilbury is going to take a 4-pitch walk here to give the Beacons an additional base runner as Brianna Melchionda steps to the plate.
The pitcher number 12, Bree Melchionda.
Michaud comes home. Melchionda, clean single up the middle. Rounding third on her way home and scoring easily is Kaylee Bruce. All the way over to second is Melchionda with a double. And the Beacons take the lead. Brianna Melchionda helping out her own cause with an RBI double. And now with a 1-run lead, 2 outs, 2 on, We'll see if Sydney Sandin can add on some more. Comes the pitch. Sandin rolls that one sharply, but foul. 1-1 now. Sun dips behind the clouds. You can see the rain clouds that are going to roll in a little bit later. They've decided to hold off for the moment so that we can enjoy our second game. You're just joining. My name is Milton Posner. Thank you so very much for listening into our broadcast. Pleasure to have you with us. It was an exciting first game. It stayed close most of the way through. And that's a hit-by pitch right there to load him up. And with the bases juiced and 2 gone in the inning, it's Christina Panagiotopoulos with a chance to do a whole lot of damage with one swing of the bat. Two in already for UMass Boston. 8th hitter of the inning to the plate. Michaud Wines fires the first pitch. It is over for a strike. Ground ball foul, 0-2. We got Tilbury at third. Melchionda at second. Sandin at first. 2 in, 2 out. 2-1 lead, 0-2. To Christina Panagiotopoulos, who takes high and away for a ball. Swing and a crack ground ball, foul down the third base line. Panagiotopoulos should reach. Amari English waits on deck. One-two pitch. Fly ball, center field, moving in on it and making the grab is Francesca Rubino. So the Beacons strand 3, but not before they score 2 and retake the lead from Salve Regina here. After 3 full, Beacons by a run. Top of the fourth inning, Emily Lane, Kendall Dupre, Francesca Rubino, 6-7-8 for the Salve Regina Seahawks, who snagged their 6th win of the season in the opener of this doubleheader and are looking for their 7th. For UMass Boston, who dropped to 7-4, they're looking for their 8th. 1-1 the count now to Emily Lane. The sun playing peekaboo behind the clouds and probably will for a little while longer. The clouds roll in. Swing and a miss from Lane. This taller player takes a little longer to uncoil herself. A big strike zone there. You can see where the pop comes from. One and two. Melchionda fires home, swing and a miss, and down she goes. 6th strikeout for Melchionda. And she continues to mow down opposing batters. Even after giving up the run in the prior inning, she is still fanning just about every other batter at this rate. Whew. No one's catching up to that at shoulder height. And that's a swinging strike one. Oh, 1 pitch. She rocks, fires. Not catching up to that one either. 0-2 now. And Kendall Dupre has come out aggressive and is being made to pay for it so far. 0-2. As she has been on many hitters this afternoon. Off speed, high, good layoff there from Dupre. 1-2. The change of pace only made more effective by the sheer amount of velocity with which she throws the pitches. Dupre did a good job getting a hold of that one and dug it out foul to stay alive. Still 1-2. Seahawks got a game against Rhode Island College coming up. Beacons have a couple of days off before facing off against Suffolk and Endicott. Very close, but called ball 2. Excuse me, that was Suffolk and Wellesley for UMass Boston coming up. I think I'm mixing and matching opponents a little bit. Melchionda, that one's a called strike 3. Back-to-back Ks and 7 for the game. She just keeps humming along. Ooh, first pitch inside, almost clipped the elbow guard of the number 8 hitter, the center fielder, Francesca Rubino. One 0 pitch comes in at the knees for a strike. One thing Melchionda has done, with the exception of those couple batters, the walk, the hit by pitch, it's the only time where she's really fallen well behind hitters. Hasn't really allowed many 3-ball counts, or even 2-ball counts a good chunk of the time, as that one is chipped foul. 1-2 now. One and 2 count. Fires that one low, skipping in across the dirt. And the count goes even. Melchionda comes set, comes home. Line drive struck, fair ball down the line and right, and that's going to be a base hit for Rubino. Third Salve hit of the day, and with 2 out, it will be Katie Ramos. Ground ball rolled up the line. Toomey will field it foul. And the count is 0-1. Put on your radar, Melchionda's got 7 strikeouts. Her season high was yesterday with 8 against Bridgewater State. Her career high in her Young Beacons career, she gets started here on her sophomore season, was 11 against Rhode Island College. That's going to be strike 2. Coming on May 6th of last year, 11 strikeouts against the Anchor Women. Could certainly be knocking on the door here. She's got 7 already in the 4th inning. Fly ball popped into left center field. Coming in is Harlinski to make the catch. And Melchion is out of the inning. 4 innings of 1-run ball and 7 Ks under her belt. She continues to lead this Beacons squad. Beacons to bat in the bottom of the inning when we come back. Amari English, the DP, Gabriella Messier, the right fielder, and Tam Landry, the catcher, for the UMass Boston Beacons. Both teams putting up runs in the 3rd. Salve with 1, UMass with 2. And that's where we stand right now in the bottom of the 4th. Isabel Michaud has pitched solidly, but starting to come undone just a little bit in the last inning, and with 2 balls to Amari English, including that one in the dirt. Question becomes about her stamina. She has made only 1 appearance this season. It was in relief, and she threw 2 innings. She has been fairly efficient through the first couple innings, throwing just 36 pitches through the opening 3. But going 3 balls and no strikes on English here. Here comes the pitch. English swings at a 3-0 pitch and is way out in front, 3-1. Swings a little late on that one. And Michaud works her way back to a full count. 3-2 pitch comes home. English slaps that one into left center field. That'll split the gap. On her way to second, the throw comes in, and there will be no throw from the cutoff man as Amari English with a 2-bagger to lead off the bottom of the 4th. She was thinking 2 all the way And she made it handily. And now it's Gabriella Messier. Retired her first time up. And have a quick meeting on the mound, it would seem. They have a substitution. The umpires looks like they're trying to get the substitution straight with head coach Shauna Mulkerin of Salve Regina. It's going to be number 28 coming in for number 25. That's Alex Kelly. Going to be using the flex position here. It's Alex Kelly, who started the first game, pitched very well for Salve Regina. Gave up the 4 runs across those 7. A couple of them unearned, or one of them unearned, I believe. And struck out 8. Allowed the Beacons to score in only 2 innings. We'll see how much juice she has left in the tank. The book is not yet closed on Isabel Michaud. What we do know is 3 innings for her, 42 pitches. She gave up 4 hits, a walk, struck out 1. She has given up 2 earned runs. She would be in line for the loss, and she is responsible for the runner out on second. That's Amari English, as Gabriella Messier fouls off the first pitch. That one popped to second. Throw, and English just gets back. They had someone a little bit closer to the bag. She would not have made it. But she narrowly avoids being doubled off, and so it's just the first out of the inning. And with 1 gone now, it's Tam Landry. Without question, the standout performer for the Beacons in terms, with the exception if you want to make one for any of the pitchers. 2-run triple in the last game, infield single and a run scored in this one. And a number of challenging defensive plays that have put badly needed outs on the scoreboard in the Beacons' favor. Takes ball 1 here. Squares, pulls, strike 1. Starting in the catcher spot in the last game and in this one. Fires. Landry pops that one foul over by the right field line and caroming back toward us. 1-2 now. Landry behind in the count with a runner in scoring position, 1 out. The shortstop, Kaylee Bruce, waits on deck. Oh, and a frame job pulls that one back. Landry doesn't look happy about that call, but it was a very well-executed frame job there by the catcher, Lauren Packer, to win her pitcher that strike.
The shortstop, number 15, Kaylee Bruce.
Now with 2 outs, it'll be up to Bruce to drive home the extra run. She tips the first pitch into the mitt for a strike. Fastball sails high. Bruce with a hit her first time up. It was an infield hit to third base. When they tried to go for Landry, it was a borderline between being a hit and a fielder's choice. One of those types of plays. She may have reached anyway. but she eventually came around to score. But here she is fighting a 1-2 count. Fists that one off the hands, and it rolls foul. One-two pitch again. No dice on this one. 2-2. Two outs, runner on second. That one fouled back into the fence. So Kaylee Bruce not making it easy. Going to see pitch number 6 here from Kelly, whose fatigue after starting the first game today may become a bigger and bigger talking point. Swing and a miss, and they work their way out of trouble. The leadoff double does not come back to bite the Seahawks as they get out of the inning unscathed. Just like in the third, it's the top of the order neatly to lead it off for Salve Regina, Nikki Vanelli, JC Casciello, and Lauren Packer. And should anyone reach Maddie Capetta, who has the lone run batted in for Salve in the second half of the doubleheader. First pitch a strike, second pitch sails high, right around the letters. Melchionda home and getting the bat around, but maybe a little bit too early, is Vanilli. One and two to Nikki Vanelli. Shows bunt here with 2 strikes on. You have to imagine she's going to be pulling this one back, and she does. Reaches out and just a little pokes that one. She's giggling to herself a little bit there. She just did get a piece. One and two count again shows bunt. Again, the infielders don't move. Pulls back. Pops that one in a medium center field. Panagiotopoulos with an easy money catch. And the first out of the inning.
The second baseman, number 10, JC Casciello.
Casciello reached and eventually scored her last time up. It's the lone Seahawk run on the board. Runs up to bunt, and it spins foul. Casciello, one of the premier hitters for the Salve Regina squad. Got an average coming into the day of over 460 with 6 runs and 6 hits in 13 at-bats. Melchionda comes home, reaching out and poking a fly ball in a shallow left. It's going to fall in front of Harlinski, and Casciello's got herself a fly ball single.
The catcher, number 9, Lauren Packer.
Blazing fastball in for a strike. And Lauren Packer showed bunt initially, pulled back, and watched it zip by. Casciello at first. Melchionda fires over another strike. Even with runners on base, she has not become any less aggressive going after these hitters. She has not let up on the velocity. She has not let up on the aggression. She has not changed the philosophy here. That one sails low and away for a ball. Both dugouts barking back and forth. Another hitter shows bunt and fouls that one off into the fence. One and two. Lauren Packer fighting her battle. And Salve recognizing that when a pitcher is pitching this way, you only get so many opportunities. Oh, check swing stays alive. That unconventional grip that Packer's got going with the right hand way above the left, it diminishes your power a little bit. You're not going to get the bat head to a certain spot, but you're going to get around on it maybe a little bit quicker. She reaches out and pokes one there into right field. We're going back on it and dropping it as the second baseman Sandin. The throw to second, not in time for the force. And an E4 is going to put multiple runners on with only one out. Now it's Maddie Capetta. Last time she was up with a runner in scoring position, she cashed it in. And now that run is the tying run. Casciello at second, Packer at first. That one socked foul down the right field line and out of play. Capetta's bat packs a wallop. No way around it. She's got a couple home runs this season and in only 19 at-bats as well. Tack on a double and 4 singles coming into today, in addition to what you've seen her do over the last few hours. Melchionda winds, fires high. Ball 1. 1-1. Two on, 2 out, 2-1 lead. 1-1 count. Fastball high. And the count swings in Capetta's favor. take her time, check the signs, wind, fire, swing and a miss. 2-2 now. And Capetta, one of the few hitters who's consistently been on top of Melchionda's fastball, timing-wise that is. Just missed it with a swing there. Timing looks good. Now you got to focus on the location. Reaches out and jabs that one foul. We'll do it again. And a credit to her for keeping the bat head in the zone just long enough to get a piece of the change of pace. She was fooled by it, but not beaten by it. 2-2 still. Sixth pitch of the at-bat. Strike three called. Eighth strikeout of the game for Brianna Melchionda, equals her season high. And it's the second out, the very valuable second out in the top of the fifth.
The designated player, number 16, Christina Braid.
Christina Braid now with a walk and a strikeout in her first two appearances. Constant presence on the base paths in the first game. Melchionda winds, fires the 0-1 pitch high. Still throwing gas even at this stage of the game. The strikeout-heavy lifestyle mixed with a few base runners that Salve has been putting on have inflated the pitch count for her. She's up at 94 now. That one gets past the glove of Landry, and we're going to have the runners moving up. Just off the upper tip of the glove. It's going to be a passed ball. And now the tying run is 60 feet away. The go-ahead run is at second. And this game very much in the hands of Christina Braid, who takes a close strike two. 2-1, 2-1 game, 2-2, 2 out. And Melchionda looking for one more put-away pitch to escape the fifth inning. There it is. Called strike three, and the ninth strikeout of the game gets her out of the jam. To the top of the order, Sarah Harlinski, Haley Tilbury, Brianna Melchionda, looking for some insurance for Melchionda, who has run into increasingly more pitching jams in the 5th innings. There's a ground ball to third. Tough play for Capetta. No play. She did a nice job to field it, but went down to a knee. And against Sarah Harlinski, you have to be perfect, or else she is reaching on an infield hit. Her first hit of the game after having 3 plus a walk in the first game. But for Melchionda, breezed through the 4th inning. The 5th inning was a sticky spot, but 2 strikeouts get her out of it. She's got 9 on the day. Now Alex Kelly's going to have to contend with Haley Tilbury with a runner on base in the thick part of the order coming up. Tilbury toward the front of the box. That one's low. Nice job snagging it for Packer. Excuse me, this looks like it's Chloe Bean as part of a defensive sub. That one chipped up the line, rolling foul. Tilbury now down 0-2. Swings, gets a good hold of that one, but it's right to the right fielder. And making the catch on that one is Dupre. Excuse me, that's going to be Ramos, who's moved over to right field. Looks like we got a lot of defensive shifting around here that didn't get reported to the table. So we're going to take a minute and figure out who's where. So we got Packer, Lauren Packer moving to first. Chloe Bean resuming the spot behind the plate that she occupied earlier in the day in the first game. Melchionda fouls that one off the pole and back toward the ricochets back toward the third base spot. Occupied now by Dupre, who's moved over from right. And so Kelly fires in, Melchionda takes a ball. So you got Packer at first, Casciello at third. Excuse me, Casciello at second, Vanelli at short, Dupre at third. There's a ground ball, goes toward Casciello, force shovel to second in time. As Harlinski's taken off the bases, Melchionda, reaches on the fielder's choice. It is the second out of the inning. And now it's Sydney Sandin with a runner on first and 2 gone. Pinch runner Adriana Keefe is going to slot in at first base for Melchionda. He's presumably going to return to pitch. We got Rubino still in center field. We got Ramos in right. And in left field, I'll double check and make sure I've got this one right. It is, could it be? Yes, indeed. It is Drew Cepitelli. I think we got all of these now. Only got to hope Salve Regina doesn't change them without telling us. Sydney Sandin's going to take ball 1 low. A lot of defensive shifting around. Is not coming to play quite yet. The middle infielders stayed constant, and they made that last play. That ball is over for a strike. 1-1 the count. And Sandin has had a little bit of a down day after a stellar one yesterday, with a double and a triple to her name in the first game before, like everyone else, failing to get a hit against Kelly Reichert in the second game. High pop fly, second baseman moving out, dropped it. That ball's in fair territory. Coming all the way around and scoring is Keith, and the Beacons have tacked on an insurance run. The second baseman, Casciello, with a misplay in shallow right field ranging toward the line. And Sandin puts the ball in play and winds up at second base with a run batted in. And now it's Christina Panagiotopoulos taking strike one. She's got a chance to tack on another run. This is her third plate appearance. Swings and misses at that one, 0-2. Last time up, she was retired with the bases loaded. This time it's just the one on second. And with the way Melchionda is pitching, an extra run here is very valuable. Swing and a miss, though. Down she goes on 3 straight strikes. And at the end of 5 innings, UMass Boston leads Salve Regina 3-1. Chloe Bean to lead things off against Brianna Melchionda. Back to the hill after being pinch run for as that one's fisted foul on the first base line. 6 outs for Salve Regina and 2 runs at least to make up. Melchionda found herself in trouble. Multiple runners in scoring position with only 1 out in the last inning. And blew away the next 2 batters on strikes to escape trouble. Slow one just missed the black. And the count 1-1 rather. First at bat for Bean, who came in as a defensive replacement in the last inning. Fastball, ball. Melchionda falling behind in the count for one of the few times in the last few innings. Wines fires, fouled away, 2-2. That was pitch number 101 for the starter after going the full 7 innings yesterday. Chipped foul again. Increasingly, the Seahawk hitters, the Salve Regina hitters have been fouling pitches off, making Melchionda work, inflating that pitch count. So far, it has not been an issue. But the more they go through the order, the bigger a deal it is. Chloe Bean here is doing it her first at-bat. As another 2-2 pitch comes in, this one low for a ball, and the count runs full. 7th pitch of the at-bat incoming here for a pitcher who has taken on a bigger workload than any. Even than Alex Kelly, who's pitched in both of today's games. That's a hard hit line drive, but it sails about 15 feet foul down the left field line. Bean taking a deep breath as Melchiondo retakes the rubber. Here comes the 8th pitch of the AB. Swing and a miss, and down she goes. 10 strikeouts for Melchiondo. And even as the hitters keep fighting, she keeps rearing back and finding that extra bit of juice. Drew Sepatelli now. Her first at-bat of the game. She slotted into the left field spot for Ramos, who moved to right, which forced Dupree to third, which forced Capetta, for the moment, out of the game. It's going to be strike one. Salve in sore need of some base runners here. Pitch comes in, swing, oh! Nearly drilled her teammate Francesca Rubino in the on-deck circle. Sailed about a foot above her helmet, if that. An absolute missile there. We saw a hitter take one off the hands in the first game. Running swing, no dice. 11th strikeout for Brianna Melchiondo, tying her career high. And with 2 outs now, the batter is Francesca Rubino, staying in center field. One of the few players who has not switched positions at some point today. Has 1 hit in 2 trips to the plate, struck out in the other one. Chips that one into the shallow right center field area, ranging back to snag it is Sandin, and that's the end of the inning. So Brianna Melchiondo, 109 pitches to get through 6 innings a day after starting against Bridgewater State, and she keeps chugging along. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Amari English to lead it off for the Beacons. Got a defensive substitution at second base. It's Casciello as that pitch comes in low for ball 1. Casciello giving way to Wis Chiapetta. Sophomore infielder as English cracks that one, soaring foul. English doubled, but was stranded her last time up. Rolls that one to third past a diving Chiapetta. Excuse me, past a diving Cupetta. Capetta back at third, Vanelli at short, Chiapetta in the game at second, Packer at first as English fouls off another 1-2 pitch, Bean behind the plate replacing Packer, Cepatelli out in left, Rubino in center, Ramos manning right. Beacons looking last chance for some more insurance before Melchiano retakes the mound. Sliding stop, Capetta throws across. And a stellar defensive play from Matty Capetta. First out of the inning. Third team All-Commonwealth Coast Conference pick last season. Got another couple of teammates on that on the second team rather. Two of whom we have not seen today, and the other of whom Nikki Vanelli shares a side of the infield with her. As Messier ducks that one for ball one. That one sails low. Rain clouds starting to move in here. Really take over. And yet still we have no rain. There isn't a whole lot more scoring or base runners to weigh the game down. Should be able to finish it even if it started sprinkling now without the field getting too muddy. That one's over for a strike, 3-1. But we will see how the factors sort themselves out. Messier swings, cracks that one, line drive, single into left, and the Beacons have got themselves a one-out base runner. Wind's blowing in just a little bit. Landry hacks that one into the top of the screen, and I think that she got that one top spinning over the top of the fence. Tam Landry, 1 of 2, with an infield hit and a strikeout, as well as a run scored. Made a diving catch on a bunt attempt to lead off the game and takes ball 1. 1-1. 3-1 game, 1 on, 1 out, 1-1 count. Landry takes one by the feet. Great stop there by Bean to keep the runner at first. Gloved it cleanly. And the count 2-1 now. Pitch to Landry. Line drive, left field. It's going to hang up for, a juggling catch. Going into second base there, and they're going to double her off. Oh, and how's that for a double play? Cepatelli juggles the ball in left field and is rewarded with a double play. She catches that cleanly, and there's no double play. The runner just returns. The runner takes second, rather. But in the confusion, she doubles her off. To the top of the 7th we go. Last chance for the Seahawks coming up. 3 defensive outs remaining for Salve Regina. And they're going to have at least one substitution to try and help them get there. They're going to have a new bat coming to the plate. There is no 33 on their roster. So we got a mystery hitter coming up. One of suspicious identity. I'm going to try to figure out who this player is. This mystery player. There are a couple of Salve players who've been wearing jerseys today other than the ones they're listed with in the stat sheet and on the roster. It's caused a little bit of confusion over here as to, who these people are. We're sure they're all softball players, but, we have no way of really knowing. It's going to be Kylie Lanteri, we are told.
Now batting for the Seahawks, number 18, Kylie Lanteri.
Listed on the roster is number 18. But wearing 33 here just to change things up. It's called a change of pace. And Lanteri, as a pinch hitter, is going to have to go against Brianna Melchionda, who has tied her career high in strikeouts already. Lasers one down the line, but hooking foul. It has started to sprinkle here at the diamond. And so with the rain going here, Melchionda is going to want to maybe try to finish this up a little bit quicker than she might otherwise. With the rain going. Noticeable at that. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now. The rain not expected to get particularly bad until later tonight, but it can accumulate and make the dirt pretty muddy. 1-2. Hacks that one back into the screen. Swing and a miss, and down she goes. Career high 12th strikeout for Brianna Melchionda. One out in the top of the 7th. And the batter is Nikki Vanelli. Ball one high. One-0 pitch. Wines, fires, nibbled the corner. 1-1. On deck, it's Wischiapetta. Wischiapetta going to bat next, but not until Vanelli chops that one foul. 1-2. Melchionda has thrown 111 pitches today. It's a big workload for the right-hander. Pop in the mitt, ball in the ump's estimation, and the count is 2-2. Wind starting to pick up a little bit more. Wines fires, changed it up. 13 strikeouts for Brianna Melchionda, and she continues to build on a career high in that category. 98 pitches yesterday, 117 today, 215 pitches in the last 24 hours and change. And she continues to throw nothing but strikes for long stretches. Wis Chiapetta, looking like the last hope. And she's down 0-2.
Now batting for the Seahawks, number 21, Wis Chiapetta.
For all the strikeouts that she's had, she has yet to fan the side in any one inning. Ooh, just missed. Just missed on the heater. Rain sprinkling down. Brianna Melchionda 1 pitch away from a masterpiece. Oh, and just spoiled on the foul tip. Chiapetta not making it easy. Winds, fires, just gets a chunk, and Toomey running out of room chasing it down the first base side. Couple of 2-strike fouls here. Here comes pitch number 122 on the day, and number 220 in the last 2 days. High. First ball of the AB. Popped, soaring foul. And another hitter making it difficult on Melchionda, refusing to go quietly. Remember, if she reaches, the tying run comes to the plate in the top of the 7th. Melchionda trying to keep that from happening. Give herself an easy time of it. Strike 3. 14th strikeout ends the day. And Brianna Melchionda with a brilliant showing. 125 pitches, 14 strikeouts for her second complete game win in 2 days. The Beacons take it 3-1 over Salve, Regina. We're going to bring this one to a little bit of a swift close here because the rain has started to come down. We want to pack our equipment up before it stops working. I want to say a thank you to our crew. Quick caveat, actually, we're going to see the Beacons go. They've got a couple of doubleheaders coming up against Suffolk and then against Wellesley. I'm going to say a thank you to our crew before we sign off here. To Maria Spilios for operating for directing. To Malik Lorquette, his first game operating the camera. For Danny Anderson on the music, and for Gigi Braga producing and running the show for us, in addition to the PA announcing she was doing. Once again, the final scores from UMass Boston. Salve Regina took the first end of the doubleheader 5-4. UMass Boston takes the second half 3-1 behind a brilliant 14 strikeout career high game from Brianna Melchionda. My name is Milton Posner. Thank you so very much for watching. We will see you soon, and have a great rest of your day.